See ya, buddy.
Love it.
Yeah.
I get into. I watch the podcast. So I know that cue.
Morning, gentlemen.
Say.
Good morning. Welcome to podcast number 27. Why do I have 35B written down here? That's a weird number. Podcast number 27 today.
It's a second one. It's a second
Is it?
It's a second.
Okay, I don't know. I confused myself.
Definitely not 35.
I got too many things going on today.
What's going on?
Hugo, you know where your camera is?
Right there.
Good. Before we get started with Coach Hugo the Boss, who's going to fill us in on some great information regarding health and nutrition, I just want to shout out to one of our sponsors, actually the sponsor of this podcast. Edible Arrangements, selling beautiful fruit bouquets to your loved ones for any special occasion. They also carry and sell fresh fruit, smoothies, edible donuts, chocolate dip fruit, and many other fresh fruit snacks. You can contact them at 204-669-6662. You can also visit them at number 3 Reenders Drive, Suite 35B. That's where that number came from. Anyways, great sponsor. Appreciate your support. Anyways, so today we got Hugo the Boss. We'll just give him a refresher, Hugo, as to who you are and why you should be asked these questions and to give us the answers. He's got over 5 years in the health and wellness industry, holding a number of certifications, including Precision Nutrition and American Council of Exercise. He spent 3 years in the supplement and nutrition industry, working with nutritional therapists and naturopathic doctors. Here today, most importantly, as a new member of the Fit Fam, Hugo is here to talk to us about nutrition and supplements. Hugo,
Hey.
welcome back to the show, buddy.
Thank you.
I saw your workout today. You did a great job.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Can I say it?
Yeah.
Jen and RJ were dead behind me. I was there by myself.
Don't worry, everybody saw that.
I looked at your program this morning. I'm like, legs. But you know what? I brought it on myself because I'm like, you know what? Okay, so this is how it started. I'm doing the workout, right? I had 2 rounds. I'm like, deadlifts, guys. These are hamstrings. Yeah. These are muscles that don't get worked often. They're going to get sore. This is the coach in me, right? And I'm working. I'm like, all right, great work. And everybody's like this. In the Zoom, they got their hands up. Rick's standing over there with his hands on his hips, looking at me, right? And I'm like, "You guys want another round? You guys want another round? Another round?" I'm like, "All right, let's go." And then we did that round. I'm like, "You're gonna regret it tomorrow."
Yeah,
sure enough.
They did.
Tuesday, not a problem. But Wednesday,
2 days
delayed
after.
onset muscle soreness.
Boom. The second day delayed onset was the worst.
Worst.
Oh, for
And there's
sure.
nothing you can, because I do it all,
No,
man. I
you can't
drink
do it.
water. I go high protein. I take all the supplements,
Yeah.
right? I relax. Like, I do everything. And it's just
Yep.
It's part of the
It's going to
game.
be sore. You're
It's
going
part
to
of
be
the
sore.
game.
Rick had to proxy out today. And it's a good thing that I did show up, because I was going to proxy and say, "Hey, Jen, could you coach?"
Jen
for
just
me?"
covers everybody now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she covered for me this morning. I woke up, my back was just stiff.
Yeah.
Hamstrings were, super sore.
Yeah.
And just all around. Like, I just knew I needed a bit of a rest. I would have powered through it, but I just didn't want to. So.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
But I'm glad.
Jen's a beast.
Yeah.
I'm surprised she's not jumping right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
why
no
aren't you
kidding.
getting some
Yeah,
steps in
why are
over
you
there?
sitting?
Why are you so lazy right now? What's going on?
She's eating.
Yeah.
Are you in the step challenge?
No,
He
I don't
doesn't
have.
even watch.
I don't
You
have
need to
those
watch,
watches.
man.
I don't have
No.
those,
You
but
need to
you know,
watch.
I reckon I walk 10,000 a day.
You reckon?
I reckon.
I reckon.
I don't know.
I reckon.
I reckon.
Yeah.
Before we get into the nutrition side of things, how are things going with the coaching side of things? Like, and now that we're talking about you go coach on the floor, you feel more comfortable? Are you loving it?
I'm loving it. You
Yeah.
know, I probably mentioned this before, but when we started doing the Zoom and I can see everyone working out, I don't know the people very well. I'm a new guy, and this came in such a weird time where everything just shut down, like after my first day.
Yeah. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
You had one
I had
coaching-
one coaching class, and then we kind of had to shut it down.
Was that the one with me? Because you
no,
worked with me
no,
one day.
but then there's one day where I was completely by myself.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Completely by myself, and
Okay.
then things happen.
Yeah.
But I miss everyone being around,
Yeah.
and I didn't know. But everyone's
way
so
different.
friendly.
Yeah.
And you know it's kind of cool because on the Facebook group you really see like the people who
Yeah.
are always out there, like the Jesse and Jesselyn.
Yeah.
yeah, they're funny.
Yeah.
They're funny. And then Bev Cole, I recognize. I don't know. I for sure I've spoken to Bev Cole once before, but I feel like I know her now. Right.
The one thing I like about this is that we've taken West and then we've taken North and we've put them all into one group. We do one Zoom call, right? So it's like one thing, and for me, I like that. At first there was a lot of restrictions. People were unhappy. Why are we making one group? And and it's like, you know what? Because there's only one me. There's only one Hugo. There's only one Rick. That's like, how do I split Rick? How do I split Hugo? How do I split Jen? Right? It's just let's just get together and get over it and understand that we're all in this together. And people adopted it quickly.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
Yeah, a little bit of changes.
Well, you can tell the members miss being together, right? Because even because we have the Zoom call and at the workout, we kind of let it run for a bit, and they're just chit chatting.
Yeah, the social aspect for sure.
That's for sure.
That's very important here, no doubt.
Long and the short, I'm having a good time coaching, and I wish I was able to engage more. I can't wait to start to engage.
Well, it's
more
funny
when we
because
can.
you're such an engager that you walk right up to the camera and you're trying to look at the TV screen like everybody's looking. And meanwhile, in the camera, all they see is your beard. Right? They see everything that's in your beard.
What you got in there, by the way? You got any
I got
snacks
some
you can
crumbs.
throw in
I
there?
got some crumbs sometimes.
Some Nary's bars.
Yeah.
So we put a post out yesterday, or Jen did put it in the accountability group, and we got about 6,000 questions. So we got a lot of content. So RJ, you got it queued up there?
Yeah, let's start off with some bangers. Real easy one, or one that stood out to me. Okay, let's just start here. Easy one. Any suggestions to satisfy a sweet tooth? What's yours?
What to satisfy a sweet tooth?
Yeah.
You know what? Lately, Greek yogurt and protein powder with some blueberries.
Yeah, some Progrert.
Progrert.
High protein,
super
low
high protein.
glycemic
Yeah,
index.
Absolutely.
You know, when it comes to snacks like that, I don't really consider them like. They count as calories,
Yeah.
but I don't look at them like, hey, it's making a huge bang on my calorie.
Well, I'm not
count.
saying don't, like, definitely those are calories right there, right? Honestly, so like I take like 175 grams of Greek yogurt is probably like 120 calories plus my protein, which is like 90 calories. So that's and then some blueberries, some frozen blueberries, easy to keep in the fridge.
I've done really high protein before, like over my calories.
Yeah.
And my physique, it doesn't take a hit. Like I can eat 6 chicken breasts and then I'll eat, you know what I mean? Like just high protein, no carbs. And the next day I'll be like lean, right?
Yeah.
But my workout suffers and I'm more fatigued. So I
Yeah.
can't train as hard.
And there is a reason for that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like if you're sacrificing your macronutrients, which is like the calories that we eat, the macro means the large amount of nutrients that are full of calories. If you have a high protein, then where is your energy coming from, right? It needs to come from like the other stuff, the carbohydrates.
Slow stuff.
Slow
fats
stuff,
and
right?
Okay, so let's go to sweets. What do you got?
You know what I really like are those fiber gummies.
Brogies.
No, the fiber gummies.
Yeah.
They're
Actually, I had a pack yesterday.
I don't know what is the name of them. Do you know?
Sweet Escapes or Sweet something like that.
Anyway,
Sweet Smarts.
Sweet Smarts. So they have different flavors.
Yeah.
Is that why Jen's always going to Rex?
Always.
Okay.
Always. That's my
That
favorite
and buns,
snack.
right?
Yeah, buns for the chicken
Hey,
burgers.
Jen, can you go stand in an hour line and get me some buns? That was Jen yesterday.
Wife of the year over there. Thank you very much. At least you got. It's not like you have to go leave the building. You're just going from here to the other building.
yeah.
It's easy. I could make you do harder things than that. Anyways, that's one of the
Sweet Smarts.
Sweet Smarts. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just that one flavor that I do. I don't know what it's called. It's a blue bag.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it. Lots of fiber.
The thing is, like, the more we eat sugar, the more we want it.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So that's the
it's-
game.
yeah.
I wish I could say just don't eat sugar.
Yeah.
Right. But it's not going to happen. But
Yeah.
I will say
even
the more,
sweet, not
even
sugar.
Yeah,
like
even
sweet,
even
tasting,
sweet.
even stevia.
The more you have it, the more you're going to want it.
Yeah.
Right. And that's just like our gut reaction to it.
Yeah.
Like, you crave the stuff that you eat the most.
100%.
So-
So for me, I do my cup of tea, and I
Yes.
usually have about 3 of these guys. So
Yeah.
first thing in the morning, always, it's like my first thing I love to
Yeah.
wake up to. Have one during the podcast, and then I'll usually have one after, and
Yeah.
then I get into the BCAs.
Sure. Oh, which you know what? Are delicious.
Yeah.
They make really good tasting BCAAs.
Yes.
Whether like they're totally necessary on a guy who's eating all kinds
the
of
food,
meat and
yeah.
stuff like that, I don't think BCAAs.
No.
But it's tasty. I mean, but I have like bubbly drinks or
Yeah.
what are those other ones? Zevias
Yes.
or something.
So this is my transition. Okay, I go from the tea. Okay, then I go into the BCAs. Then I have a protein shake. So that's my new pre-workout.
Yeah.
Is that the ISO Gold
Oh,
Mocha?
yeah,
Have you
yeah,
tried
yeah.
that?
I have tried it. I saw that makes good flavors.
And I'm fired up for the workout. So I have that. That's my first meal. That's how I technically break my fast
Yeah.
with calories. And then after that, it's if I eat my first meal later, I'll have a Diet Coke. And then I go into a Zevia. And then after that, it's back to the BCAs if I really need it, or I go into the sweet sport. So I'm getting tons of fluids.
That's so much sweet fluid.
But this guy knows I have a sweet tooth.
Holy.
Man. Like, you want to say sweet tooth?
Yeah.
I'm that guy.
No
Right?
kidding.
But at the end of the day, I mean, it's a good point for him to make and for everybody to hear that you can incorporate some sweets into your your nutrition. I mean, look at him; he's got a great body and he works out well.
Thank you, Rick.
You should never deny it completely.
No, you
However,
can't.
RJ's on a much different path than most people are.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
But these are the hacks I do to survive
There
to
you go.
stay here, man.
Yeah,
Like,
there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, RJ's working 12-hour days, and he's
Oh,
working out twice a day.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
sugar, never mind sweets,
Yeah.
sugar has a place in his heart and his life
yeah.
because he needs to keep going.
Yeah.
Right? He needs to. I mean, if you have an orange or an apple
Yeah.
or a,
Oh, yeah, I had
a
some
fuzzy peach,
Watermelons are not good
Yeah,
right now,
yeah,
FYI.
yeah.
Oh,
And
They're
if
not
you-
good in what way? They're
They're
just not fresh.
I haven't had a good watermelon since
Okay.
Hawaii.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 But if you were to have a fuzzy peach and go work out,
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
fuzzy peach is gone.
Oh,
It's,
yeah,
it's going
it's
to use
silly.
up for energy immediately.
Yeah.
You're not worried about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So my last point on this before you guys want to move on. So everybody's in a different part of their fitness journey, right? So when I started into mine, say 4 years ago, I made a huge commitment to cut out as much sugar as possible, and I really did it. And I feel like as you drop your body fat and as you start to develop better habits and as you work out on a regular basis, and once you really understand your body and how it feels when you eat certain things, then you can incorporate a few more things, right? But you got to earn it. So I'm not saying go out there and do it, but I'm saying where are you in your fitness journey, and then make those decisions
Yeah.
accordingly.
Of course.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so this is how we're going to do it. We're going to get through as many of these questions as we possibly can.
All right.
And then whatever we don't, we'll bring it on for next week. Okay, so we're going to start from the most. And then we'll just get Jen to either like reshare this.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then we can just keep adding to it, okay? So the question is, Elizabeth. Okay? So she goes, how does she get her calories in for the day? So she's thin, very lean, ectomorph, right?
Okay.
So she can get like super muscular and lean very
Yeah.
quickly, right? But just can't put a pound on in the right spot to
Yeah,
save her life,
and-
right? So how do you get those calories in?
Well, so we're talking about gaining, like we want some mass on her, right? So
Yeah.
I usually think of I think the best sciences I've seen is that you want to have about 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per body weight, lean body weight,
Yeah.
right? Or what you want to be, right? So let's say she's 110 pounds and she wants to be 120 pounds. Ideally, she wants to gain 20 pounds of lean muscle. Then I'm going to have 120 grams of protein per body weight that I want to be at. So I'll start there. And then, so from there,
So first hit your protein
I
goals.
first look at like the calories I need. So you need to be in a surplus.
Yeah.
If you want to gain weight, you have to eat more calories.
'Kay.
Then I look into
Let's get specific. So how many calories would you recommend?
500.
500.
I would
a
start
week.
with 500
A day?
extra calories a day.
Okay. Yeah, because that would be 3,500 calories. That
Exactly.
would be a pound a week.
I would
yeah.
start at about 500 calories
Yeah.
a day, and then then I get that total number of calories. So I don't know where she's at, but let's say she's probably
Yeah.
at 1,200 calories, right?
Yeah.
So let's get her to 1,700 calories, and then from there, now it's all math. We go into protein goal. So I wanted to get to 0.8 to 1 gram of protein of where she wants to be. If she wants to be 120, then that's 120 grams of protein.
Yeah.
There are 4 calories per gram of protein. Let's do some math. 4 times 120 is
480.
480 is like
Hey, you're
it's
quick
like
on that, Rick.
Right? So then that's how many calories I'm going to get from protein. Then I could split up the rest of the calories.
Yeah.
So then I have about 1,200 calories I can split in fats
Yeah.
and carbs. And from there it goes on what kind of person you are, what kind of activities you're doing, right? So if I'm doing a lot of boot camps like this, I could afford to have more for carbs, right? Because that stuff's going to burn into. That's going to be my energy to go, and I could have it, and I could go, and I don't want to burn out, right?
Yeah.
If I happen to be a heavier guy, have more fat body mass on me, then I definitely want to get rid of that carbs a little bit more, right?
Okay, so to answer the question,
Yeah, for her.
without going on a tangent.
tangent?
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's be specific to her. To give her an
so
actual
I don't really
question.
know her, but I would say
So a
start
skinny
from there.
dude
Skinny
comes
dude,
up to you,
eat more.
Hugo, I need to put on weight. I can't eat more.
Yeah.
That's the
That's
the
the
problems
question?
that our women
I
are
can't eat
having.
more?
Yes.
You got to eat more. I would.
Okay.
Okay, so you got to find.
I get
the
it
foods,
where they're at.
Yeah, you got to
right?
find the
'Cause
foods
I'd
that you
have,
like
for
to have.
me to eat 3,000 calories.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, I burnt 2,900
Yeah.
calories. For you to tell me to eat 3,500 calories with the macros of 40, 30,
Yeah.
30 is not happening.
It's hard.
You got to
Yeah.
wipe that up.
Yeah.
You can't. You got to focus on calories.
You got to focus on
So
calories.
that's number one.
So I would eat more. So then and
Yeah, but
so
you
someone
eat
asked
more. If I eat more lettuce.
No,
So you got to get
no,
specific.
No, you
now
want more
because-
specific? So then
yeah.
I'm gonna get you to eat more carby foods.
Okay.
Because you
But
can afford
carbs
it.
are lower in
but
calories.
But you could well, it's the same as protein.
But fat is high in calories.
Fat is high in protein. Well, it depends on the person.
Okay, so
because-
what, you
this
get one
person-
answer.
so
What's
the-
your one
is
answer?
it-
Don't give me
Okay.
your hypothetical.
No, I
you
have
get one answer. What are you telling Elizabeth? You got 5 seconds with her.
You
Eat more.
You eat more.
Okay.
But eat no.
What's specific about it, man? Come on,
I'm gonna get
doctor.
you. I'm gonna get you to eat more fatty foods
Okay.
with higher proteins.
Okay.
There you go.
Right. So that could be all kinds of supplements, but
Yeah.
typically it's going to be more proteinish foods that are going to be fats.
Yeah, like a fattier
yeah,
steak.
Absolutely.
Right? You can
Yeah.
like, if you're going to eat steak, which is high in protein, then go for the fattier. Don't cut the fat off.
Don't
and
cut the
eat
fat
it.
off.
One of the hacks that I tell my people is to coconut oil.
Yeah.
Start cooking with
I was thinking
oils.
that MCT oils
MCT
too. Yeah,
oils,
butters.
Butters.
That's an easy way to consume calories.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
easy way
like
to consume calories.
A stick of butter
Yeah.
is you can't eat that stick of butter. You melt that butter onto toast, or you melt that
Yeah.
butter onto your steak or your chicken breast. Dude, you've just added 200-300 calories.
Yeah, avocados easy. Do you like avocados?
Have a bulletproof coffee. That's a good way to get
Yeah,
some healthy
bulletproof
fats and some
coffee.
calories in you.
Put some. Do you put butter or do you put MCT
I
oil in
put
it?
both.
You put both.
I
in.
put
Yeah,
both,
well, that's
yeah.
a lot of fat.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
So okay, so MCT versus butter. Quick answer. What's the difference?
MCTs are shorter chain fats, so
Yeah.
you burn faster,
Okay.
but you still get the same calories.
Okay. So if you're looking to add calories and you either start putting butter on your food or coconut oil, if you want to go the healthier option,
Sure.
and then you can put coconut oil or butter
Yep.
into your coffees, and that will give you that 200 to 300 calorie
Easy.
boost.
Easy.
2 coffees
Just
a
like
day,
that.
Boom.
two tablespoons of butter, you've hit your 500.
Yeah, there's your excess.
Right there.
There
Right
we
to
go.
keep that going. You still want to hit that protein goal, but yeah, right. Yeah.
Done.
Next.
There you go. Next. So, can you explain the benefits and perhaps side effects or considerations that should be aware of taking supplements? Okay. So, in particular, leaner. So, what are the ingredients in leaner?
I
okay?
actually saw it the other day.
Yeah.
I looked at it today actually because
Okay.
I read that question.
Yeah.
I think like leaner's fine. You
Yeah.
can actually take it all the time. There's no ingredients in there that is unnatural.
Yep.
That is gonna be bad for long term effects.
All right.
Like, what is
No.
it? Green tea extracts.
Green tea
Caffeine?
extract, a
You're
little
drinking
bit of-
that anyways.
yeah.
So you're fine. Something like leaner is totally fine.
Yeah, you don't need to
Yeah.
cycle on and
Yeah.
off on this. If I usually take my days off from supplements are Sundays.
Sure.
Right.
Yep.
And then I'll take my supplements long term.
Yeah.
Right. I'll go higher dose based on if it's getting warmer out and I'm going to be at the beach, then I'll ramp up my supplements, and then towards the end of summer I'll ramp down, and that's when the T-shirt stays on. But
Yeah, I mean, questions like these I can answer. I mean, if
Yeah.
you want to give me leaner, tell me about leaner. I'm going to say all those ingredients in leaners are fine.
Yeah.
They're good ingredients, and there's nothing wrong with those.
okay. So second question is tissue rejuvenator. Did you get a chance? To
I
look
did.
at that?
I did look in that. That's also fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's all healthy.
it's all healthy and
glucosamine, chondroitin,
yeah, absolutely.
MSM,
I mean,
turmeric,
honestly,
collagen.
here's the thing with those kind of supplements. If you could take them now, you may feel a benefit in 3 weeks. But if you took them forever, by the time you're 70, you're feeling great.
Here's the thing about tissue rejuvenator that why it doesn't go off the shelves. Like leaner, we bring leaner in. Hey, we got a case of 12 in, guys. We just got in 12 minutes. It's
They're gone. Yeah.
Hey guys, we got this tissue rejuvenator. It's going to make you feel good. You're going to be less sore. Your body's going to be less inflamed. Nobody cares about those things, right? But
Yeah.
yet, when I can wake up today and do
Yeah.
another workout, it took me till the second, maybe early third round to okay, I'm in it. I'm good. Right, but I was still able to do it, and I could sit here and have
Yeah,
no
I-
knee pain,
like-
and that's my thing is the joint pain.
Yeah.
People are constantly complaining like, "Oh, I have knee joint pain." It's like, well, you need to provide nourishment to get that joint
and that's
health.
the thing. There are some really good supplements where you can feel it almost immediately.
Yeah.
But a lot of the best ones, like curcumin and all those things that you
Yeah.
really think,
Yeah.
if you take it long term,
Yeah.
by the time you're really old and things like that, you're gonna
Here's
feel
the thing:
great.
take the supplement, take tissue rejuvenator, take 4 a day for 30 days, and then I want you to take 2 weeks off from it.
Yeah, and then you can
and
be
then
super
you'll know
sore.
how it works. Like you're gonna feel your body's gonna feel inflamed. You're gonna be a lot sore. So I highly recommend
Yeah.
if you're taking stimulants to burn fat, you need also like you always say. I like his method where he goes for every 30 minutes of workout, you should be doing half of that in recovery. Right. So stretching,
Yep.
mobility.
Yeah.
hot baths.
That's
massage.
gonna make you better the next day.
Yeah.
I mean, you're here for. It's all about coming back the next day. Like, what's the point? What's the point of working really, really hard one day and then you're gone for 3 days?
Yeah, it's gonna be so hard on your body.
It's so hard.
Yeah, I'd rather. I mean, the ultimate goal, I think, all of our members, and we're all in this mindset, is that we want to train like animals every day.
Yeah.
Like if we had it our way, we understand that nutrition is something that we're like. It's like how we were doing our meeting this morning. And we're doing all this like clerical work. We're trying to figure out what's the best way to systemize this, and we're just like, I just want to work and work out. You know what I mean? Like, that's how nutrition is for Fit Club. Like, that's the community. That's the culture.
Totally. Yeah.
Like, we started the step challenge, and people are getting 20, 30,000 steps
Dude,
a day.
I saw that. I saw someone made a chart the other day. It was a beautiful chart. And someone's really kicking butt.
Michelle.
Michelle's
Yeah. Oh yes, Murley. So it's like, you put a challenge like that up, we're like, okay, like the T-shirt challenge, right? Okay, let's see who can do 100 push-ups. My chest, I can't even feel my arms. Okay, who can not eat sugar for one day?
Yeah, exactly. Don't even put that out there.
But going back to that
That's just rude.
going back to that question, things like leaner, totally fine, take every day. Things like tissue,
totally.
I mean, you're investing in your long-term health.
Yeah.
I mean, just because you may not feel it tomorrow doesn't mean you're not going to really be bettering yourself when you're 30 years down the stretch.
That's the challenge I feel like a lot of people have to deal with, is the long-term game. And that goes for anything, right? Supplements, we should do it without expecting immediate results, but in the long term, like you said, and then try it and cut yourself off and see how you feel. That you know it's working, right?
Yeah.
So real quick, I know you said this before, omega-3 is a good long-term supplement.
Yes.
What else? Just give them
Okay,
a
so
few things that we
my
should-
things to go
Tissue
to.
rejuvenator, for
yeah.
sure.
Okay.
Anti-inflammatories like tissue rejuvenator. Omega-3s, I think, is a must.
Okay.
Vitamin D supplements, because we're not outside, especially during this time.
D. Okay.
D.
Yeah.
And I usually say like a multivitamin just to cover the bases.
Okay.
Do you know what's actually a big one? Iodine. Do you guys know about iodine?
Tell us.
Iodine you only find like in algae and fishes and things like that. And you have one gland here called the thyroid, which is like the driver for all your metabolism.
Yeah.
And it exclusively eats iodine.
So people with this thyroid condition,
Yeah, let's talk
should be
about
taking
that. I hear that all the time, man. What does that even mean?
Yeah, what is that? I'm sorry. I don't want to go there.
So
but
we have.
is it-
I know.
Is that
so
a thing or?
it's a thing?
Okay.
It's a thing. It's a hormonal thing.
Yeah.
That it's hard to really test.
Yeah.
But you can test it, and the thyroid, if it's imbalanced by different kind of hormones that we're not going to get into, then you may be you have no metabolism, or you have an overactive metabolism.
So so is that a bad thing?
Yeah, because
So overactive metabolism?
well, because in the long term, you probably are always kind of tired, or you can't gain weight and things like that, and also in a different way.
Yeah.
And for the underactive, same thing, but it manifests in different ways.
Isn't it crazy how everybody's body is unique?
Oh,
like
yeah.
so unique.
Yeah.
Like me and you
Big
can be
time.
twins, right?
Yeah.
And like our body is made up differently.
It's insane
so
game.
crazy.
It's insane.
And that's
game.
why it's hard to prescribe somebody one thing. It's just like a doctor, well, what's the best thing for people with attention problems? Well, here's this Adderall, right? But then there's like 6 different streams of this stuff, and that might not actually work for anybody.
Yeah. Well, and here's I'm going to say this as
Doctor.
not a doctor. When you take a prescription, it's either to kill an enzyme or to block an enzyme or pathway, things like that. And it doesn't necessarily solve the problem. So let's take this analogy. You have a rock in your shoe, and you go to the doctor and say,
Sorry, what kind of shoe?
A rock in your shoe.
Oh, rock in your shoe?
Yeah, you have you have a rock stuck in your shoe, and you're
I thought
walking
you meant
around.
rocking in my pants.
No.
but- Okay, keep going. Keep going.
And I go to the doctor and say, I got this foot pain. I can't do anything about it. The doctor's like, all right, we'll take this prescription. It's going to get rid of the pain, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then, but if the doctor's like, oh, let's see why this is giving you a problem.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, there's a rock in your shoe. Let's get rid of this rock and come back in a week, see how you feel.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But they don't do that. They just fill out the prescription and they give you something to
Yeah.
hope that it's going to kill or block the enzyme.
Yeah. Not all doctors are like that.
Of
though.
course not.
But sometimes
Of course
it's hard
not.
to get prescription. If
Well,
I
you know
want a
what?
prescription. So
Yeah, the big blue, right? Yeah. They handles that like candy.
yeah. You can get those over the counter.
But
We
yes,
should
something like thyroid issues, it's tricky. It's a tricky
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
But I would say that we could use more iodine.
Yeah.
So someone asked a question, and I'm going to jump into this one because I know someone asked it
Yeah.
about like when we should be using supplements and why we should be using supplements. And I think that you should be using supplements to cover the deficiencies you know you have. For example, I know I'm not eating any iodine.
That was a vitamin one.
It's a vitamin one.
Yeah.
So I'm taking.
So what kind of
iodine.
iodine foods? Give me 3 foods.
Well, there's kelp.
Oh, yeah.
Kelp and seaweed. There's gonna be some in like fishes and things like that.
Yeah.
What was that, basil? What'd you bring to my house that one day? Shoot, I haven't had that since.
Basil.
No, what'd you
Oh,
cook?
arugula.
Arugula.
Yeah, there's no iodine in that one. So the
kelp.
seafood kind of thing,
Okay.
algae, some fishes are gonna have them.
Okay.
Table salt, iodized table salt will have them.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can do that.
You could do that. You could do
Neri
that.
puts so much salt on the Neri's bars now. Like,
Does she? Oh
it
my-
started with a pinch, and now it's like chunks, right? So I'm
Salt
like
is so
eating it.
good,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know.
Salt's
And then
good.
I was in the bag, like just dipping in the
Yeah.
And salt?
it's just straight up salt. Man.
Jeez. But you know what? Salt had a bad name.
I am Filipino.
Yeah, that's true. Oh my goodness, those strawberry pancets. Salt has a bad name because it could be hypertension and things like that.
Yeah.
But most people who have hypertension
Yeah.
because of sodium or because they're eating McDonald's.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, you go and get a fried food, like it's going to be at least a couple thousand milligrams of salt, which
That's
is
right.
more than
Mhm.
anybody
Yeah,
should consume
absolutely,
on a daily
yeah.
basis.
But salt overall, you do need it.
You do need salt. I mean, when you sweat, you're sweating,
sweating salt.
Like, what do you think?
Electrolytes.
Like, you wear a hat, right? Let's go grab one of these guys' hats. Even my hat I was looking at,
It's
my
drenched.
CSP one is disgusting.
Yeah.
And that's salt. That's salt, right?
That's
so
right.
You
yeah,
sweat it
you
out.
have to have salt.
Yeah.
I mean, I cringe when people go, "Oh, I don't want any salt."
Salt,
Something
yeah.
like that.
Like,
Are
what?
you
Really?
kidding me?
Yeah.
That's how you're gonna get cramps.
Even sugar. Cramps.
Oh.
Cramps. Sound like you said crabs.
Nope, that's how you get cramps.
I don't know.
You don't know, Rick?
I'm not sure
You're
how you
not
get
sure?
those.
I heard you got it from the
That
toilet.
one I don't know.
Okay. So,
Hey, let me tell you guys a quick story about salt. Okay, since
I
we're
thought you
on
were
it.
tell us a story about crabs.
All right.
No. I don't know. You can tell that story for you and your party days. This will be quick, but in regards to salt, and it's funny how people don't want to incorporate salt into their diet, yet they should. When I was a boy, if you've ever worked out with me, you know I'm an extreme sweater, and I've always been my entire life.
So I always wearing
Sweating
black
right
shirts.
now.
Yeah. Not right now. Not where you can see. Anyway, so back in the day when I was a kid, I used to spend the summers on the farm. And my mother worked in the city. I would stay there for 2 months. Anyway, she was picking me up to take me back to the city when school was about to start. And I was out playing with my cousins, and I was really sweaty. No big
Yeah.
deal. It was September or August or whatever. Driving home, so as soon as I got into the back of the car, I fell asleep, which was weird because I always like to sit in the middle. You remember the middle consoles of every
Yeah,
car?
sure.
Of course. So
That's my favorite spot.
I was so small that I fit on that, right? Anyways, I end up passing on the back of the car. My mother's driving home, gets pulled over for speeding, and says to the cop, "Oh, there's something wrong with my kid. He hasn't woken up in whatever 3-4 hours, whatever it was." Cop looks at me and says, "Turn this car around. You're going back to this little small town instead of going." So she bullshitted, made up this
Yeah.
excuse, tried to get out of a speeding ticket.
Did it work, though?
Thank God this cop did it, because when I got back, or when we drove back, and he escorted us to this small town hospital, doctor came out, and I remember they put me into a gurney or whatever you call a bed with wheels on it, nurse. And what happened is I had sweat all my salt out. I had nothing in there.
Okay.
And how they rectified it, they stuck me in a big cooler where they put the food, and they made me drink Pepsi with salt in it.
Oh my god,
Isn't that crazy?
That's
So
crazy. How
Get
did
your
that taste?
blood sugars up because they're probably low.
Yeah.
And then
All my
replenish it.
yeah. And anyway, so the doctor said, had this gone any longer, you could have suffered brain damage from having no salt. So that's how much that I sweat out of it.
Yeah.
And of course, I probably didn't drink water as a kid. I don't
No.
know. I mean, who
Yeah.
knows when you're young? All you
Water?
do is run around, right? But yeah, the
mean
importance
apple
of salt,
juice?
very, very important.
So I have two things. Number one, I just want to say good morning to Tina, Shelly, Mimi, and Kelly, Jen, Nicole, and Elizabeth actually jumping
Good
on.
morning.
She
Oh,
says
hey,
she's
good morning, guys.
123 pounds. Thank you guys for jumping in every
Great
morning.
questions.
We appreciate that. There's so here's another thing. Okay, so we're all about no salt. Okay,
Yeah.
like what people, I think most, I still think that's a stigma. Now here's another stigma: no sugar. Like, what is your what is your? Let's go through that. Should you not have sugar, Hugo?
I don't think you should. It's all your energy. I mean, everything you eat turns into sugar at the end
Yeah.
of the day. So of course you can have sugar. And
So,
it's
so
like-
I think they're thinking, they're eating nibs. Okay,
Right.
so let's go with those sugars.
Okay.
So what Hugo is, he's Mr. Scientist here.
Yeah.
So everything gets converted into sugars, carbohydrates, proteins, and
Yes.
fats. They get converted to sugars. They get used as energy.
Yeah.
So when he's thinking sugars, he's
I'm
above.
go-
Okay,
I'm
but
go-
people
I'm-
are saying sugar.
yeah.
Okay.
You could do with less.
Okay.
Do I think that you need to cut it all together?
Yeah.
No. I don't think. I think it's unrealistic, right?
Yeah.
As a coach, that's unrealistic. You could do less. You could have less.
Yeah, I agree completely.
absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
a tough question. I mean, how do you know, right? Getting back to everybody's different,
Right.
and how much are you consuming? Yeah, if you're consuming a bag of nibs,
Yeah.
probably too much.
Which isn't easy to do.
Can
Right.
you
Which isn't
consume
hard,
a
yeah.
handful of nibs? Sure.
Listen,
Yeah.
if I saw RJ come in and he's like, I'm just gonna eat a bag of nibs for my workout.
Yeah.
That's fine. You're gonna
Yeah.
burn it off. You're gonna
Yeah.
burn it off. I mean, but like if you're having a bag of nibs before you go to bed,
Yeah.
can I get a little science here?
Yes.
That stuff's not good. That sugar is gonna circulate through your blood.
Yeah.
It's not gonna go to where it needs to go. It's
Nope.
gonna get stored.
Yep.
Or this is why people cannot sleep. Is
Yeah.
because they're eating
Big
high
time.
sugary foods before they go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't, and again, high sugary foods, it could be the bag of nips, or it could be this big bowl of pasta because you're Italian. You know what I mean? Like you're having this high sugar, so those high carb foods get converted to sugars a lot faster than a high fat food.
Yep.
And so when you consume that, depending on the size of the meal,
Yep.
right? I know I don't eat, that's why I narrow my window,
Yep.
right? And so if you eat those foods, your body is going to first try and store it,
Yep.
right? So it's going to store it into fat, and it's going to go into the places that you're like, why can't I lose
Yeah,
this? Well,
exactly.
that's your fat storage. That's your deposit
It's
site.
gonna
I'm
go
sorry.
right there. You're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
I mean, we can even get to hormones,
Yeah.
right? They did a study. They had the same meal at the beginning of the day, and they had the same exact meal at the end of the day, and they took some blood markers and things like that to see how they metabolized different. And the meal you had at the end of the day got converted way more into sugars and fats than it did at the beginning of the day. So consider that.
So then what's happening is it's getting converted to sugar. It's getting stored. What else is it trying to do?
Well,
Trying to get
It's trying
released
to
as
get
energy.
released, yeah, it's
So
a-
when
that
you
whole
wake up
insulin
in the
dump.
middle of the night, you're like, "Oh, I'm so stressed. I can't go to sleep. I'm up all night." Well,
Yeah.
what did you eat? 2 hours. I would say even 3 hours before. I don't eat
Totally right.
3 to 4 hours before I go
You're
to bed.
you're
and
totally
I have to
right.
fight it. That's
And,
willpower for me. Is
and
that
I
night?
think
Anything past 6 is that I struggle with that.
the majority of everybody needs to follow that rule.
Yeah.
You got to eat like a king at breakfast and eat like
Yeah.
a peasant at night.
yeah.
That's
And if
the
you
game.
need to push your
That's
fast,
good. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
say it again.
Eat like a king in the morning,
Yes.
and eat like a peasant at
At
night.
There you go. I push my fast like 6 p.m. but I go to bed in and around 9.
Yeah.
So I feel that people should eat like fasting is just whenever you break your fast. What does breakfast stand for?
Break fast.
Breaking your fast.
Yeah.
So if you move you're breaking your fast earlier, but then you start your fast like earlier in the evening,
Yep.
you're going to be better off with that.
Yeah.
Right? So like start off with the breakfast. But again, if you're going into those high sugary, high glycemic index foods such as pastas and stuff like
Yeah.
that, then you're going to be wanting to eat all day,
Exactly.
right? And that's what happens
Yeah.
because it breaks it down quickly. It
use
tries
it.
to use it as
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
And then it spikes your blood sugars.
Yeah. Then
right?
you crash and you go,
crash,
oh man,
yeah,
why am
I'm
I
hungry.
crashing? I'm
Yeah.
hungry. I eat more.
Eat
It's
more.
a
So how do you
giant
solve
cycle.
that? How do you solve eating at night? One of the ways, stay active.
Stay active.
Stay active.
Drink water.
Yeah, the more-
Drink those stevias.
I don't know.
and-
Water does not fill me.
Well,
I
not
feel like
water.
that's this thing that everybody says,
Beast-
drink
drink
more
till you're
water.
full.
Man, that just
You-
makes me
you know-
hungry
you know what
and
I do?
hungry and hungry and
BCAAs
angry.
or Sweet Smarts.
Yeah.
BCAAs,
BCAAs are
Sweet
good.
Marts,
Yeah.
and then my last thing is a protein shake.
Yeah.
Right, but if at that point, it's a lot of it's in here. It's mental willpower.
It's all mental willpower. Of course,
And
it's an
I would
addiction.
I
that
would
we
tell
have to
everybody
battle.
every time you go to the cupboard. So if you've already eaten your dinner and after that you're going for your snacks either in the fridge or in the cupboards, I tell you to do 2 hop squats. Every
Yeah.
time, and it's going to be instead of it being okay. So it's all about habits and risk reward. Have
Yeah.
you read Charles Duhigg?
I have not read that one.
So basically, you get a cue.
Yep.
Then you get the cue is I already had dinner and I want to go have some nibs.
Yep.
That's the cue. Then the habit that you've created is that you go and get the
Yep.
nibs, and then the reward is the enjoyment that you get
Yep.
from them, right? So the trigger
Which is a
pleasures.
quick play.
So now what you're going to do is you're going to add a 4th element to that. So you're going to have the same cue. It's 6 p.m. I'm watching my 2nd episode of
Vikings.
Tiger King. Now I'm onto this Jordan thing, which is amazing. So that, and then you go and get your nibs, right? So you have the pattern that you've trained. Then you go and get and eat the reward, but now you've put a pain stimulus in there. And so now you're completely disrupting that pattern,
Yep.
right? So put in a pain stimulus. Do something that you don't want to do. I'm so sore. Now, when I'm
Yeah.
doing these hop squats, I'm like, oh, no.
good. And that's just a coaching
Right?
habit that we go through with different people.
Right,
what
but
they
it's
could
so
do.
easy.
But you're
Just
right. You're right.
Throw in a pain stimulus. Do something that you don't want to do.
So smash your head into the
That's
wall
right.
before
Yeah.
you eat
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
That's the
punch
same
yourself
game.
in the junk or
Same
something.
game. All right, next question here.
I got a good one. Here's
Go ahead.
from one of the smart asses on here. How many cheeseburgers can you eat in one sitting?
Next question. Stupid question.
It got most likes, actually.
It did?
It got, yeah. Here's one. I never met my 40% protein other than eating a chicken breast every meal. What else?
Protein shake.
Protein shake.
Protein shake.
Excellent answer. Excellent answer. When it comes to tracking, I don't know where to begin. Calories, macros, how to figure out your body type. How do you answer that question?
Okay, so we're going to go into your body type, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Endomorph, ectomorph, and mesomorph,
Mm-hmm.
right? Depending on how you are. If you you look like me, then you're probably a mesomorph, right? And you hold on
So
to weight.
jacked?
No, permabulk or permabulk. You probably hold on to fat a lot better, right? So
Yep.
I do better with lower carbs, actually.
Okay.
So go based on find where you are from there. You could. It's easy. You find a chart. It says different kind of photos. Pick the one you think you look like. From there, go into your active lifestyle. What kind of calories, and then you can see based on that your calories. I mean, MyFitnessPal does a good job. It does
Very good.
It does a pretty good job of like giving you the basic of your lifestyle, your height, your weight, your age, and then how many calories you eat.
Yeah.
They're around the ballpark.
Yeah.
I go from there,
Yeah.
and then go for your macros from there.
I would actually
Great
like
tool.
to test that.
Great tool.
Like on a weekly basis. I'd like to first test where 50% of my calories came from carbs.
Yeah.
And then just do like a 20-25, like 25-25 split. And then do the same thing for protein and do the same thing for fat. And just make sure I'm tracking it so I stay
Yeah.
at my calories and just see how my physique looks and also how my workouts are.
You
I'm
know,
gonna do that.
So many of these questions can be answered by self-experimenting that way. And I know that sometimes you need a coach to do that to help you out along the way, but so many of these questions are right there. You track it, you do it, see what works, see what
Tracking.
doesn't work.
Track it.
Track
And
it.
enjoy
You
it.
got to measure
Or,
it, right?
Hey,
Yep.
if you can manage it, you can improve it.
Yeah.
You know, if you can measure it, you can manage it, and if
Yeah.
you can manage it, you can improve it, right?
That's one of the things that I guess I would throw out there is if you're going to try, say, a diet, you're going to try a supplement. Try it for a while. Be consistent with it. Don't start it for 3 or 4 days and then
Yeah.
forget about it. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna have
I'm
to
keto.
figure out how to do
I'm
it.
keto. When'd you start? Yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't call
you know
yourself
what?
keto.
Yeah.
man.
You know, I did keto for about like 3 months and I lost a bunch of weight. But it's like, oh, is it because I did keto or is
Yeah.
it because I also had a calorie deficit
Yeah.
and I also worked out all the time?
Yeah.
Consistently for 3-4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got a
So
lot of
you can't
people
say-
who are great at asking a lot of questions. So my challenge would be to take that same energy and start tracking the things that you're
Yeah.
doing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Put some time in it.
Instead of asking the question, start journaling,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
And figure out every day. You know, I
Every
figure
day.
that's a good way to do it. It's going to
Yeah.
take a little bit of time, and you're
Yeah.
going to have to put some work
And,
into
you know,
it. But you have to
there's-
do it.
We can help you out with that.
Yeah.
Jen can help you out with that. Neri, when she does.
I mean,
Sure.
Jen does the Zoom calls
Yeah.
in the group. So if you're not in the Zoom
If-
call, guys, www.fitclub.fit.
if I could say that something that's going to really help, go to those.
Go to those calls. Yeah, we
Learn-
need more people on the calls.
Yeah, learn to track your food. Learn to get into that habit.
Yeah.
Learn to find what you like
Mm-hmm.
and go from there. I mean, if Neri on Sunday one day just I'm gonna measure my food. I'm gonna do that, and then now you know what it looks like.
Yep.
It's really easier than you think.
Actually, we got a fun one coming this Sunday. So the guy from Carbones, Fast Fired Carbones,
Sure.
he does a lot of events over at West.
Yeah.
I guess they got these homemade pizza kits now. So he's gonna come over to
Nice.
the house.
Oh, that's
and,
exciting.
we're gonna
That's
do
exciting.
these homemade
That's a
pizza
big
kits.
step up from last Sunday.
The prison food.
Hey, and
right?
just an FYI, everybody, Rick has never done extensive time in prison. I told him, Rick, just you're a good actor. I'm gonna ask you some questions. Just pretend like you've been there, okay?
Yeah.
And he did a really good job. So anybody that is scared to come now back to Fit Club and work with Coach Rick, the criminal,
when
he wasn't. Yeah, he
when
wasn't
he brought
running
out
the yard.
when he used the lid to mix
Oh, yeah,
up,
that was funny.
and then my girlfriend's like, "There's no way he's gonna kick that lid in prison." And he goes,
Yeah,
"That's
that's a quick slice to the throat, man.
Well, they do keep it in there. They
Yeah.
do keep it in there. But
Speak-
you got to be a low.
Speaking of acting, this is the first time I've ever seen Rick wear his ring.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's
I
it.
wear this thing all the time.
No, you don't.
I do. But here's a little fun fact. This is my sixth ring.
Because you keep losing it.
I
'Cause
lose
you
them
never wear them.
constantly.
I don't wear mine anymore
Constantly.
because we're like the way I see it, we're in Navy SEALs training right now. I'm training. I'm touching weights all the time.
What do you think of those rubber ones?
You know
I don't
what,
like the look of it.
No.
Yeah, no, and it's whatever. If I'm, I haven't worn mine since we've started quarantine.
No, is that
and
so?
it's just because I'm training.
Just do the Stephen Curry thing and just get a tattoo.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
But then
you can add-
then your sister wouldn't have said I'm cute. So
No.
I think it's the no ring. She's
gonna listen to this.
I love he says, speaking of acting, he's wearing his ring. Do I not act married? Is that it?
I've never seen. Yeah, No, I've never seen it.
Yeah,
Anyways, let's
exactly.
keep going. So let's go try to go down the list so that we can get to the next ones.
Yeah.
All right.
Are
So
you at Elizabeth's protein powder? Mark?
yes,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Elizabeth. Let's just say her name properly. Is it Elizabeth or Elizabeth? Mancher, how do I say this name properly so I don't insult her? Elizabeth?
Like bet.
Elizabeth. Okay, Elizabeth,
Elizabeth.
we got it. Protein powder, but need to hide that can't stomach it. Can you hide it in food? But need to
Oh, yeah.
hide.
Yes, you can, and I think I put a comment
get
on
the
that one
same
actually.
results.
Yeah.
So that's a good idea for Neri, or we could all
Mix it into
brainstorm-
your coffee.
Mix it,
How many different ways can you make?
Did you
can
say that?
Utilize protein powder.
so many different ways. Okay,
love it.
mixing coffee. Have you done a bulletproof
No.
coffee? Oh, that used to be my snack. It used to be my snack. I do bulletproof, but I do the chocolate. It was like a mocha. It was delicious. So you do that. You have Groger. You have oatmeal.
Mm-hmm.
You put it in your oatmeal. So pancakes I made. You can put it in
Neri's bars.
Neri's
Pancakes
bars,
are good, actually.
Right?
Protein
There's
pancakes.
so many things you could do, and I think you should write these down.
I am
And
writing
on
it.
Sunday.
Well,
you-
Well, maybe we'll bring you back.
we bring it back with
I
Neri.
would-
Yeah,
That'd be kind of
that
fun.
that was a funny one.
And then that's a good question, and I think this is a
a
good
phenomenal
way
question.
to do this on Sunday.
I can't do protein shakes. The only protein shake that I've ever been able to consistently do is the vegan one, and now there's like a worldwide shortage of it, right? And so I haven't done protein shakes since I've been out
a
of mine.
worldwide shortage?
I hate them. They're gross. Like I just don't look forward to them. I can't even blend them up anymore. I used to blend them up in a shake, and I'm just like, no. The only ones that I've actually outside of the vegan ones
Yeah.
is the Costco like in the Tetra Pak ones.
Yes, I know those.
I forgot what they are.
The Combat?
The Kirkland ones or Combat.
No, or
or some-
Lean
no,
Fit?
no. It's like in a Tetra Pak. But the problem with them is they're like $2 each, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh, I
they're
see.
very expensive.
Oh, those are like the pre-made ones.
yeah, the white ones.
Yeah,
And
I hate
If
those.
anybody knows what they are, please throw it in the comment section that are watching. So
Tons. So, anyways,
my kids drink those.
it's
Like,
so gross
dude,
to me. So gross. And you see the ingredient list?
you
on that
haven't
thing?
you haven't tried one.
Oh yes, I have. I saw that. I don't want to because I see the ingredient list on it.
It's
um,
there's a lot of mixed stuff.
to,
in
to,
those.
to answer the
Yeah.
question,
Yeah.
there's tons of ways, and we'll keep in touch.
Okay.
We'll get a segment out on Neri's cooking on how to incorporate different ways to use protein powder.
There you go.
So I have a
Eliz-
question about supplements. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
when do you like? you come to my house on my
Yeah.
dresser. I've got like bottles on bottles, right?
Yep.
And I'm like
Yeah, just chewing them almost. Yeah.
drops and everything, right? I
Yeah.
have no issues with that.
Yeah.
But at what point in time do I need to be taking iodine pills? Need to be taking leaner pills? Like when we're doing the game changers, Jen, rough estimate of how many pills you take in a cutting phase. Game changer towards the end,
30.
30.
10 a day. That's
no,
fine.
there's more than that.
It's got to be more, but
Oh
to,
yeah,
to answer your question, I'd say as
there's
much
6 leaners.
depending on what it is. Let's not get into the depending of it as much as your stomach can really handle.
Yeah.
I usually say because the only reason why it's depending because there's some that do better with food, some
Yeah.
that don't do
Oh,
better
yeah.
with food, right? So I just manage that part, but for the most part, you're fine.
Just
Yeah,
keep going.
It's so long
Just
as your
do it.
stomach doesn't get really upset.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Yeah.
Drink
And
water.
I remember I competed once,
Yeah.
and I had no water in me, right? So I tried to dry heave all my. I woke up because you know when you're like competing, you're just like this, like
Yeah.
can't even keep your eyes open, and I took like 10 pills all
Yeah.
at once. I'm like. And I was just like throwing up.
well, that's a whole different monster.
Yeah, that's a
training
whole
like
other
that.
monster. Yeah, it is
Yeah.
totally.
Elizabeth, here's your challenge. Do something with protein. Take a picture, put it on this feed, so
Yeah.
we can see that you took some of our suggestions. And
Pure
you
protein. That's what it's called. Pure
no,
protein.
no fresh
Thank you,
fruit.
Sarah.
Limited fresh fruit. Limited fresh vegetables. What's a nutrition hack? Mine would be frozen. Frozen
Yes,
vegetables.
100%.
For sure.
There's nothing wrong
Frozen?
with that.
That's
Yeah.
one of the first things I bought when this whole like
Thing of
grocery
frozen?
crate.
Yeah.
I bought a giant 8-pound turkey, and then I bought all just frozen vegetables and frozen fruit, and there was an abundance.
Yeah.
like you're not getting the fresh stuff, but if you're in quarantine, bakers can't be choosy, man. Stop
Yep.
eating so sexy.
That's probably the best answer. Frozen, like the way they do it, they flash freeze it, so all the nutrients are still in there.
Oh, okay. I
They're-
didn't know that.
Yeah,
I feel like it's
So
a
fresh
better way.
blueberry-
So they don't just put it in a bag and throw it in the freezer.
No, they flash, so all the nutrients stay exactly the way they are. So if you have a bag of blueberries, you're getting all the nutrients you would from fresh blueberries.
Oh.
The frozen's good.
Yep.
You know that, Jen?
Okay. So let's move on here.
Very
Is it true?
interesting.
Is it true?
Super
Eating
interesting.
smaller portions more often, grazing speeds up the metabolism. What's your take
They
on
did.
that?
They used to say that, but short answer, no.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. What is your best nutrition recommendation for pre?
Wait, can we answer that? Are we just gonna go yes or no?
On the grazing?
So why this is so the reason why they say it speeds your metabolism is because to eat food and digest food, it consumes a lot of energy.
Yep.
That's why you'll eat a meal. If the meal is very heavy, then you're going to feel exhausted, right? And so your obese people actually have a higher metabolism than non-obese people.
They're super strong under all that.
Yeah. What's that?
They're super strong.
They're super strong. Yeah, exactly. But and so when you eat a meal, your metabolism is going because it's time to digest that food. But at the same time, it's drawing energy sources from your brain. So that's why I don't eat until about 1 because I don't have to do any deep thinking work.
Yeah.
And it'll draw away from your ability to train.
Yep.
Right. So like if you come in, you're like, oh, I'm gonna have a big bowl of pasta because that's what Arnie does, right? Like you're gonna draw away from your ability to do lifts.
And metabolism has a lot to do with hormones and nutrients, not necessarily the calories, but the nutrients, right? So I mean, if you're eating more and you're getting more nutrients, perhaps, but in the long run. But at the end of the day, it's calories in, calories out for eating, for losing weight.
Track your food. Keep within your caloric range.
Yeah.
Do a little bit of intermittent fasting for not only the fat burning properties, but for discipline.
Yep, I agree with that too. Know what it feels like to really be hungry, and know when you're not hungry.
Yeah, go through that. Do a 24-hour fast once, and find out that you will not die without eating.
I have a good friend who we like to do like experimental diets, and one day we ate nothing but potatoes for a week.
Yeah,
and it's something called resistance starch. So we'd heat up the potatoes and cool them out and eat them cold.
Okay.
And I just carry a bag of potatoes with me.
Yeah.
After the third day,
I
just ate nothing for 3 days because I wanted to finish the challenge for a whole week.
Yeah.
And that's how you find out that I'm not even that hungry.
Yeah.
I just don't want to eat potatoes. That's the game. But to the point, like you fast and then you realize what it feels like to really, really be hungry.
Yeah.
And how often you're really not hungry.
Yeah. And it'll be funny because if you do fasting and keep your calories at par, so like don't go in a deficit, just go don't change your caloric. But that's the thing is that people, they when they work out, then they start to eat more because they're hungrier, right? They're burning more calories, and then they're like, why am I not seeing results? It's like, well, you change your diet.
Yeah.
And I tell people you're just starting with us, Rick? Okay, for 21 days, I want you to write down the foods that you're eating, okay? And then that's all you're going to eat for the next 21 days. Don't change it because now you're working out and you think that, hey, I can have an extra candy bar, right? Eat the one candy bar that you've always been eating for 7 days. That's fine. And I guarantee you that you're going to lose weight.
Yes. Of course.
That's totally right. I can't even say anything better than that. That's true.
And that's if the workout is proper. So I'm just saying for Fit Club, I'm not saying if you go to a big box gym and you walk on the treadmill for 20 minutes and then you go on the elliptical for another 20 minutes and you know what I mean, you might do a couple curls. Like no. You come to Fit Club, work out, you're going to burn calories, keep your food the exact same, and I guarantee you're going to see body changes. And 21 days, it's going to happen that quick.
Dude, I barely changed my diet, and I think I
You're
lost.
a perfect example. You and Carlos.
Yeah.
I'm
killing Carlos. Get out of here. Killing Carlos.
What is your recommendation for post food intake? Should you eat before you work out? How much in advance?
This is different for everyone because everyone has stomach a little differently. But like I said earlier, if RJ wanted to come and had a fuzzy pizza and then before the workout, he'd be fine because he's going to burn it all out. Post workout, your muscles, you have muscle sensitivity. It means you rip the fibers in your muscles and they want to be repaired. So that's when they're most sensitive to intake protein. So if you want, but then there's also you need to have something to help transport the protein to the muscles. That's usually sugar, right?
Yeah.
So a simple one is like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with a protein shake.
Yeah.
You have the protein and you have the simple sugars and the complex sugars that are going to help you bring that protein to you. So I usually post-workout, something like that.
Okay. High protein.
High protein, a bit of
Rick, we don't have to get through all these.
Limit the amount.
Just rapid fire. Let us answer them. Let us answer them.
No. Well, I'm discussing it right now.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
I thought you were going to jump to the next one.
High protein.
High
with
protein.
You can afford a bit of the glycemic spike on that.
If you're gonna have an ice cream, if you're gonna have a chocolate bar, if you're gonna have whatever your treat of the day is, right? Then after you're done working out,
that's right.
And I've actually done the research in 30 minutes. So you wait 30 minutes. So a lot of people eat too soon. It's after you're done working out is when your metabolism is revving the most, and it's really burning into those calories, like the fat calories. And so you wait 30 minutes, give that window, then you have the high protein, high carb fat.
So
or,
the peak
meal.
is around half an hour. You're right. The peak of like when you're the most like where your body wants the most nutrients is like usually half hour after that workout. But if you do things like resistance training, things like this, your metabolism also kind of increases throughout the day as well,
big time,
right? So
big time. And a lot of people that work out like in the morning, they can't do the 8 to 8 fast because like they're up working out.
'cause
And
they're
so it's like
working
when
out.
you work out, it's like this. Okay, so you have a certain amount of energy in your body that you can utilize as fuel. Okay, now when you work out, it's like driving your vehicle, and you put your foot on the gas, and you're just like, and you know what I mean? Your energy. So I would suggest for people that work out early in the morning that they don't go with the typical 12 to 8 fasting window, right? So eat between 12 and 8.
Yeah.
You move that up a little bit. So if you worked out at 5 in the morning, then your fast might, or you break your fast in and around like 9 or 10, but then you stop at 6.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? You just got to go to bed early.
There's a good balance. There's a fine line between what you can do and discipline, right? I mean, if we could be disciplined, it's like, but it's just not working for me, right? And you feel like that's the only way you can do it, you're gonna break no matter what it is. You know, the best plan, the best nutrition plan, or the best workout plan is the one that you can do for a long period of time.
Big time.
Yep.
That's the same.
You bet. So right after a workout, a little protein.
A little protein and some carbs.
Yeah. Okay. And if you're gonna do a dirty carb, like, you know what I mean? If you got something that you know you're gonna do, like, let's face it, we all eat like that, right?
Yeah, you can afford
Right?
it. It'd be okay.
If you're gonna be, you know, people say, live a little. Well, okay, then live then.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, earn your life. Earn your life.
Yeah, earn it. Big
There you
time.
go.
Big time.
Gatorade, vitamin water, low-cal drinks.
Yeah, so vitamin water is not low-cal. They get you with that one.
Yep.
I'll tell you that. Gatorade, it's Gatorade Zero might be low-cal, so it'll probably be okay. Yeah. So the main thing about Gatorade, it's advertised to use while you're working out or while you're so hockey players do it because if you're doing like a 3-hour game and you're going on and off, you need to refuel yourself with the sugars and electrolytes to keep going. So that's what Gatorade's for.
Yep.
If you're
Typically.
Exactly. But I'm not going to be at a desk drinking Gatorade. That's crazy. And the vitamin water, there's not enough vitamins and it's all sugar. So watch out for things like that. It has its place.
Yeah.
So for the average person, like working person, right? Like the workplace athlete, you don't need any of that.
Nope.
You don't need the vitamin waters. You're not getting the boost that you need. Like you take one vitamin pill, and that's probably just as much vitamins as a case of those vitamin waters.
Gosh.
So don't waste your money on
Don't
that.
waste
Just
your
stick
money.
to regular water.
It's such a marketing
That's
play.
such good marketing.
Agreed completely.
Yeah. So the energy. So thoughts on energy or low cal drinks such as Gatorade, vitamin. So even with the energy drinks, like I see some. You know, we got a friend and I see her. She's like drinking these things.
Yeah.
And man, those things are you're better off just to have a Diet Coke before
think
you
so.
go into those energy drinks. Like those things are toxic for you.
I mean, not only they're toxic. I mean, the reason why they're so popular is because you crash and you have it again, and then you crash and you have it again. It's all marketing.
And there's so much caffeine.
There's
in
so
them.
much caffeine. I mean, a ton of caffeine. It's insane.
Like 400 or 500.
Oh,
like
my
that's
goodness.
3 to 6 cups of coffee.
Yeah.
Well, you see these hockey players drinking it like crazy, though, so that's why people want it, right?
Yeah, but they get paid to they get
Marketing,
they,
baby.
right? And for a hockey player or for a football game, if you want to have some Gatorade during that game, that's actually the only time you should be having it.
You know what? And the person, it depends on the person. So when you see people working out, like I know people come and work out and they're drinking BCAs while they're working out. I'm like, okay, like you're better. So what is your goal? Okay, your goal is fat loss. Okay, so your fat loss, you should do it fasted. I would tell everybody, do your workouts fasted. Perfect example. One of the best athletes of all time, GSP, would you say?
Oh, yeah, for
GSP?
MMA?
GSP does 20-hour fasts. The guy trains. And I'm not talking like talking to his friends, doing like this guy is training.
He's a beast.
8 hours a day, and he only eats in a 4-hour window.
And he says he never feels better.
Never felt better in his life. He said he wished he would have started. He said, if I would have do my career again, I wish I would have started intermittent fasting.
And his last fight, he was doing that intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
And he won.
And he won.
He
and
won.
it was a long bout. It was like 3 to 5 rounds. I can't remember what it was, but
and he's such a good guy too.
he is. I met him once.
I know him personally.
He's a good ambassador.
I met him once.
Canadians.
Did you?
In
That was
Vegas.
cool. How
when
tall
he
is
was,
he? Is he big in person?
He's a little
about
dude,
Rick's
eh?
height. Yeah, he's about Rick's height.
Yeah.
And he's very thin, like you wouldn't see any muscle on him. But fun story behind that is we were in Vegas, and we missed our flight to come back home, so we decided to stay another night. We went to the bar, and they announced the champ is here, right? And we're like, where?
Yeah.
Like, whoa, GSP? And like, we're Canadian, so we know this is his first time he ever won. And nobody knew who he was in the club. He was standing like this with me and you. He had one guy who was like 4'0" nothing. I guess it was his manager, right? So he had no bodyguards. And I'm like, "It's GSP. Like,
Yeah.
you're GSP." And we kept, this is back when.
So you met him?
Met him.
Yeah.
Shook his hand, everything. We're
Nice.
from Winnipeg. Oh, that's very good. Yeah, that's the way he talks. And so
That wasn't French at all.
The fun thing about the night is I remember going to the washroom. Okay, so
You saw his dong?
I saw his dong. No. You know the urinals, right? And you're like eyes forward, and you just kind of look over at a guy, right? Yeah. So I got the pirate eye. He's got the pirate eye. We're looking at each other like,
Nice.
you know what I mean?
Nice.
That's how I remember
Oh,
GSP.
man.
Yeah.
He's a good looking guy, too.
He is a
really
very
good looking guy.
Yeah.
What you got next?
Macros. Explain that. So we've already explained the macros, correct? What they are. You know,
Not really.
Not
Ken-
really. Not really.
Kenny's-
Okay, well, let's stop. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Macros.
Okay.
Last one here.
Last
it's already
one?
10-10.
Just
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, this is tough, guys. It's tough to really.
We got a few. I think we can go a
You know
little
what?
longer. I think this is
what I
good.
wanted to do
Yeah.
was talk about macros anyway. So let's spend some time on this question.
Okay.
Okay, macros are the large nutrients you need for energy. They are used for energy. They are consistent of protein, fats, and carbs.
Those are macros.
Those are
Big.
the macros,
Yeah.
right? We're not talking about micros right now. We're not going to at this time.
No.
Macros.
You love your micros.
Yeah, I do like my macros. My macros, yeah. Big fan. And so when we talk about macros and calories, when we talk about like calorie eating and things like that, we are using our macros, our proteins, our fats, and our carbs to adjust for what our body needs and what our body likes and our what kind of lifestyle we're doing. So the way we do that is, like I said, protein is 4 calories per gram. Carbohydrates are 4 calories per gram. Fats are 9 calories per gram, right? So those are the main calories, right? So if I want to have 200 calories or 200 grams of protein, I'm doing 200 times 4, which is
200 times 4? 800. Yeah. Yeah.
Right, and then so then now I know I have 800 calories in proteins. That means if I want 2,000 calories, I have 1,200 calories left, and I have to divide that between those two. So that's what
The
macros
easiest
are.
way for people to do this is just get MyFitnessPal, guys.
It does it for you. It does it for you.
And then, use Jen's formula that we give in the group. But so let's give them a visual, okay? So here's your pyramid. At the very top of the pyramid is your calories, okay? So then your calories are broken down into your macros, which are 3, okay? So you got calories at the top of the food chain. Then you got your split. So you got 1, 2, 3. So you got your proteins, carbs, and fats. And then you break it down that 4 calories per gram, 4 calories per gram, 9 calories per gram, and then you split those up however works for you or based around what your goals, right? It's like, so you got to try a high carb, but you have to do it for 7 days.
You got to try it. And you know what? Jen had a post there about I always been told that when you start a fitness journey, you should have this split. That's a good split.
That's a very good split.
Find that comment on Jen, or maybe Jen could comment on it again.
Yeah.
That's a good split.
Yeah.
So for our audience that are not in
Yeah.
our Fit Club, we have a private group where we have nutrition discussions, and that's posted in there. We're not going to share that with the
I'm
public.
not going to share with the public right now.
We're not going to give away all the secret sauces here.
Dirty bulking.
I answered that one.
You answer that one. So
Wait,
that's
no,
just
but
eating
you
a
got to
bunch.
answer it on here.
You got to answer on dirty
That's-
bulking is gaining weight, eating whatever you want. We call it the Rick bulk.
Yeah.
Just eating a bunch of garbage food.
I got a
as much
fun
as you
story about
can.
Rick. So we're
On a dirty bulk?
about fasting and eating. Okay, so we go on, and I've known Rick for many years, but there's just things that when you're traveling and you learn a lot more about how people work, and we're in Hawaii.
Careful.
We're in Hawaii, and we're talking about fasting, right?
Yeah.
And so we're at the beach, and we're talking about fasting. It's like, we were talking about how long we've been fasting. Rick's like, I've been fasting. And I'm like, and Nary and I look at him like, what, are you fasting? He's like, I was like, well, you had a coffee with cream and sugar in it.
Yeah.
He's like, so? I'm like, you broke your fast. And also this morning, you had eggs and bacon, and you had a handful of trail mix.
And he had the nerve? He had
we
the nerve
realized that he doesn't he eats without knowing. Sometimes.
I don't remember any of this.
Yeah, exactly. He denies it.
So that might be partially true, but I'm sure you've added to your own little twist to that.
Oh no!
So
Larry will
let's talk
verify
about
that.
fasting. All right. So fasting, in my opinion, can come of two ways. You can either do a true fast, which is nothing; it's air,
That's
or you
true.
can do a water fast, which is nothing but water.
That's true.
And then you can also do a fast, which doesn't elevate your blood sugar, which means you can drink fats. In my opinion, all right. Now,
Okay.
is any of them right? Any of them wrong? I guess it's just your personal preference. So I don't know necessarily if I would have eaten bacon and eggs and said I was on a fast. I'm not sure about that part. But I do believe that you can, if you're not spiking your blood sugar, it's
Right.
still considered some kind of a fast.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
The third one is debatable.
So
Third,
having
I'm going to
said
debate it right now. Actually.
so
Yeah.
having said that, let's give them an option. If you're not prepared to just breathe and drink water for 12 hours, what can we do to baby step them into fasting?
Yeah. So I think fasting is just without calories.
Without calories.
I think without
Okay.
calories.
And I
So-
think
so like a
w-
base-
without a
the-
blood sugar
the
spike.
whole-
So okay, if you're trying to just eat your calories within a certain window, then yes. But again, fasting means breaking your fast. So anything that breaks your
Right.
fast is no longer fasting. However you look at it,
Of course,
that's
yeah.
a pretty black
are we
and white
talk-
statement.
I thought we were talking about like the period of fasting.
Okay.
So if you will be breaking your calories, but like during I think what he's talking about is like if my window is 8 hours of fasting, I can still drink fats because I'm not doing the glycemic index. What he's saying, right? And I'm saying that during that time of fasting, I don't think any calories is what you want.
Okay.
Is it-
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
so I'm saying blood sugar. That's
Yeah,
the fast.
I see your point.
You're saying no calories, and you're saying nothing, just water, right? So,
But he drinks coffee for sure.
okay, so all I'm saying is, can we give people an option that it's not one way or another, and that they
Okay.
can certainly start one
Okay,
way
so
and
yeah,
so-
so
and
the
it depends
three,
on- it
the
develop
three
into
layers,
different
the
things,
three
right?
simple, remember, simple layers. Number one is that you get water,
Yep.
and that's it. That's a true fast because there's no impact, there's no calories. So that's number one. The second level would be your minimal impact fasting, right? So your minimal impact fasting would be your stevia, right? Your monk fruit, your xylitols as sweeteners, coffee, tea, very, very minimal impact, but they do have an impact on your fasting.
Right.
Minimal. So everybody understands the spectrum. 100 is a full out break you out of your fast glycemic index. 0 has no impact. So water is 0, and then like your fruit roll-ups, your super sugars up
Right.
top, and then the small impact stuff. So if we look up the glycemic index, is your coffee, is your tea,
Right.
is your sweeteners, your natural sweeteners. Then if you go into what Rick is talking about, so the third level is the low glycemic index foods. So like if you were to put butter in your coffee, butter is around 28 on the impact list, right? So it's going to break your fast.
Right.
It's just at a 28.
So let me. There are implications of fasting that go outside of a calorie deficit, and that's called autophagy, right? And that's
Autophagy.
autophagy,
Yeah.
right? And that's just the recycling of your cells and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So the moment that you add in a calorie, a macronutrient in fat and things like that, your body then will use that fat for energy
Yes.
instead of recycling.
Yes.
So it depends on what your goal is on fasting. The goal in fasting is because I want to give myself a smaller window. So when I eat, I can't. It's hard for me to overdo it.
Yeah.
Then fine.
Yeah.
Then that's another thing. If you want to add some fasting, that's fine. But you want to maintain your calorie deficit or goal. But there, like I said, there's a bigger implication on why you want to fast.
So autophagy.
Yeah.
So what he's talking about, and this is one of the reasons why I took strong interest, not only for so somebody's asking what is fast? What is the point? So fasting, it basically you deplete all your carbohydrates, macro, and then your body starts to utilize fat stores as fuel. That's for our audience. That's what they need to know why you do fasting.
Yep.
Number 2 is the autophagy. That happens in and around the 20 to 22
right.
hour mark.
Yep.
Right? And the reason why you do autophagy and why you would do an extensive fast like that, not only is it fat burning properties, but your body releases ghrelin, which is a hunger hormone.
That's right.
Right? And that's why it's good when you get those hunger hormones that you actually release ghrelin. Ghrelin it stimulates the pituitary gland, which makes you release growth hormone.
Yep.
Right? And so if anybody knows anything about growth hormone, how is Stallone how old is Stallone?
like
70s.
70s?
How old is Arnold Schwarzenegger?
72.
How do these guys have bodies of 30-year-olds?
Yeah.
Right? It's not testosterone. It's not those performance. It's the peptides. And so your body will naturally release these peptides. So if you're looking for a natural way to look and feel younger, then you do what's called a deep fast. That's what it is. Also, when you do autophagy, what happens is what you said is those cells are looking around to engulf energy. Now, what are these cells, these strong cells engulfing? Dead, dying, debris, cancerous cells.
That's right.
Everybody's got cancerous cells in their body.
Yep.
And so if you want to start focusing on looking younger and also focusing on longevity of your health, then you can start to do a deep fast once, twice a week. It's not that hard.
I mean, that's like the people who live the longest are the ones who actually consistently do a calorie deficit, right? Like
Totally.
he
Look at
nailed,
monks.
You look at monks, like,
Yeah.
but you nailed it, bro. But like you want to recycle and kill the mutaceous cells, right?
Yeah.
You want to only have, and that's what fasting does. And you're right, it does take a little bit of a long time. You can include your sleep in that fast hour, right?
Yes.
That's
Oh,
free.
yeah.
That's free real estate.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah,
you probably
totally.
you stop eating around 7, you go to bed at 10, then
Yeah.
you eat sleep. That's 10 hours right there. Then you noon or something like that.
Yeah.
And you should be able to sleep if you're not having eaten.
You know
Yeah,
what?
You'll have a better
totally.
sleep.
I have the worst sleeps when I eat before bed.
Yes.
And not only
Everybody
that,
works,
like
yeah.
you're sleeping.
That's why nobody sleeps anymore, because of that.
Yeah.
But then what do you wants to say?
Or they're having a coffee at 6 at night.
Yeah, they're blaming their phone. That's
Nah,
running all
so
the time.
sleep-
because your body is digesting all the shit you just
Yeah,
ate.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
And stop
And-
eating chips.
um,
That's it. So it boils down to here. I can answer all these questions. Stop eating so much.
done.
That's it.
Coach Rick, stamp.
2-minute podcast.
Yeah.
He's reading.
All right,
his
and that was a
comments,
great
getting
day. We
more
want
and
to
more
thank
mad. Yeah, that's right. I mean, and sleep is where you're resting. Sleep is when you're recovering.
Yeah.
The muscles are made in the bedroom, right? But if you're eating and your body's digesting food when it should be sleeping, then you're not recovering.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Carrie has a question about fasting. Does a coffee ruin or / kill her fast?
Right. So my point was the calories.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Very minimal.
Black
impact.
coffee.
Black.
Black
It has
coffee.
to be
Black
black,
coffee, yeah.
or with a little bit of stevia.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about stevia that I think a lot of people don't realize is if you go to Starbucks, right? So I don't know if they've changed it since then, but people are now stevia. You go everywhere.
Everywhere's
You
have
see
it.
the green
Yeah,
package.
yeah.
I'm having stevia, right? But if you look at it, a lot of them are cutting stevia with dextrose because stevia has like a bitter taste to it, and a lot of people don't enjoy that.
I'm so happy you know that. That's
Yeah,
true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And they cut it with dextrose, and so when you go to, why am I spending $100 for a 2 pound or 400 grams? What is that? 2 pounds, right?
400 grams. 400 grams is like just under a pound.
Just under a pound.
Yeah.
So I'm spending $100 for a pound
Of
of
stevia,
stevia,
yeah.
right? And then why can I go to Superstore or Walmart and buy these like stevia twins
Packs,
or
yeah.
with those packs?
Yeah.
Like, remember you said, "Oh, there's stevia in the fridge." I'm like, no, that's not stevia, Rick. Like unless it's that better now.
Better now. Just,
organic
just
stevia.
doing this with the stevia.
Yeah.
And it's not cheap, man. It's the purest of the finest, right?
Yeah.
And so those all will break your fast. So if you think that you're having stevia and you look at the pack and it's not organic
Yep.
stevia, I'm sure there's higher quality, and it's all different, like a quality. It's gonna break your fast. That's number one for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, coffee.
Coffee's fine.
Coffee's
and
fine.
I
Keep it
think-
black.
And people also got to realize that pre-workout, right? So pre-workout, BCAAs in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
right? Any of those like even a protein shake, they're all going to break your fast.
That's right.
Even if they have 0 calories,
Yep.
you got to understand. And people have like sent me screenshots of these keto-friendly, won't break your fast drinks, and then like even a Zevia. Like I drink
All
a
of it,
Zevia,
dude.
I'm like, there's something in here that's breaking my fast, so I only eat it. I only drink that Zevia at night.
To me, while you have a point with your fat, I mean, if that's the route you want to go to, it will work. The fasting that we're talking about that I think is the best for longevity is a 0 calorie fast. That's what it is. And
0 calorie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you want to make sure that's pure stevia. Just cut it up. RJ would tell you.
So we got a question here. How much longer are we gonna go with this?
Keep going.
Okay.
Keep going.
we got
so-
next week though, huh?
We got next week, but these are
Okay,
audience. These are audience questions.
Do more. Okay, we'll be done with the online questions. Finish up with the audience.
All right, last
questions,
last
and we're
audience question, guys. If you have any questions, now's your last chance to put them. We still have quite a bit of viewers on here, so that's pretty good. Ash What is that?
Hate the.
Ashwagandha.
Ashwagandha.
Yes, please.
Ashwagandha.
I don't
What's
know
the
anything
question?
about that.
What's the question?
He goes, what are the uses? Any experiences?
All
with it?
kinds. And there's different patents. So depending on the patent of ashwagandha, it's going to do different things, from anxiety to testosterone boosters. I will say it's like an Indian herb.
Okay.
It's an Indian herb, so there isn't a whole lot of like really foundational science on it. But if you want to try, I think it's something that you may like. So is it online?
It's a guy.
Is it a guy online right now?
Yeah.
Can you tell me what you're looking to get from it? Who?
Paul. His name is Paul.
Paul with the last name?
Thor
F
Lipson.
that guy. F that guy. Skip next
Is
question.
that your buddy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Next question.
All right.
Paul,
So-
what are you looking to get? What is it for?
Boners.
boners.
that's
He's trying to
it.
get a longer, stronger boner, or are you trying to get just the boner?
That's
Because-
exactly what he's asking
God,
for.
I'd
He's
be-
looking
those,
for the answer.
those are two things, right?
Yeah,
Think
he's
about
your
that.
buddy.
I'd be
For
happy
sure.
for just a
Are
boner.
you,
Jeez.
yeah, are you just trying to get a boner, or are you trying to keep the boner?
Yeah.
Because those are two. I feel like those are two phases.
Oh, that's
Right?
true. That's true.
What's the next question?
Amy McKenzie. I don't know. Is that a friend of yours?
No.
Okay, so I don't understand this question, but she's saying that's frozen fruits
Mhm.
and veggies, not frozen pizza pops.
Oh, is she talking about the frozen food?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't eat. Next question. What is it?
Uh,
we need to vet all of his friends on these questions.
yeah,
man.
exactly.
I don't even think. I don't know the Amy person.
You know what? What's fun? What's interesting to me about supplements in general?
Yeah.
Okay, so if we go back to like hunter and gatherer times, even like so, people think hunter gatherers. When I think about that, I think of like the Japanese with the swords. I think about those times, right back, and then medieval, not medieval, but around those times. And I watch Vikings.
Yeah.
And I'm very interested into seeing what are these herbs and everything.
Sure.
So like
Yeah.
nowadays it's easy, right? Like I go see Freddie. Freddie brings me a bottle of Anavar, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they had all these performance enhancers back then, right? The stuff that really worked. Like you go to a sweat, what do they call like
A
a
sweat
sweat
lodge?
lodge?
Yeah.
Right? What
Yeah.
are they blazing? Like all these things. Like I want to know. Like I'm very interested as to what the root of all of this came from.
Yeah.
And back then, people were doing hallucinogenics. People were doing performance enhancers, right? Like if you watch Spartacus, those guys, what were they feeding their guys?
Yeah.
Right.
So I have a.
I wanna know
I
that.
love being really evidence based with the supplements, right? And there's a whole line of drama between it, right? Because
Okay.
you can't have too much evidence based, because if it's so good, then they're
Yeah.
gonna want to
Prescription.
The prescription.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right?
Yeah.
Ashwagandha, to go back to Paul's question, things like the ashwagandha and the things what they did before then.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really promising things about it, and it just depends on what you're trying to get out of it. Because now people are onto it and they want to patent it, and
Yeah.
these different strains do different things.
I'd like us to for the next podcast, and we might ruffle some feathers with this one, Rick. You okay with that?
What do you got?
Okay. So I would like us to do a little bit of research on Thrive. I'd like us to do a little research on Zija. I'd like us to do
Yeah.
a little research. What are these multi-level marketing supplements, right? And this is for a whole nother. I think we bring
It's a
this
whole-
to
yeah.
the next one, but to me, like I've looked into them and they're very expensive.
They're very
And there's
expensive,
really
yeah.
like as much as everybody says that this is like the way and
Yeah.
but I just heard that from the other guy who said that about his product.
Yeah.
And now your product is more superior, but I always look at, and this is like a line that exactly go what you said, as soon as things start to work too much,
Yeah.
like it gets to a line, okay, it doesn't work, so you can sell it to kids and you could sell it
Yeah.
on, you can go and get a Flintstone multivitamin, right? And then you get into the Assure multivitamins and the Power Meds, and then you get into these like the Jijas and all these other like multivitamins, but then it's like once something becomes too effective, then now you've got to get it prescribed. It's like Canada, perfect example, we talk about DHEA, and
That's
I
right.
love DHEA. I go down there, I get the bottles, right? You can order it in a small quantity for yourself, and I've taken it. I know that my strength gains, I know my lean muscle mass, my boners, you know what I mean? Like it's a testosterone supplement that I know that I've tried that works, but you can't get it here in
You
Canada.
can't get it anymore. Exactly right.
You can't get it
Yeah.
in Canada. But
As
I
a-
can go
as
to
a-
the States, but you can get a Fedra in Canada.
Yeah.
But you got to go down to the States and get a Fred. What is it? You can get a
If-
Fedrin.
if-
Over
if
there,
they-
you can get a
that's
Fedra.
right, yep.
Right? And so it's like, what point in time does that, like, okay, are only prescriptions pills?
Yeah.
Like, are they the only
So
ones that
it's
work?
such a weird thing with
Right?
with Canada, because as of 7 years ago they did this whole NPN thing, which means that it's a national product number or a nutritional product number, and what that means that there needs to be
NPN.
Yeah, NPN
Yep.
needs to be some kind of clinical evidence before you, of what you're saying to do it,
Yes.
right? And ephedrine, they don't do it anymore because there are some pretty there's pretty unhealthy implications if you do it wrong.
Yeah.
And no one wants to get sued for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So now they say it's a nasal content, and you have to go behind it. You have to, hey, can I get the ephedrine?
Yeah, no.
And then they go, well,
Change the wording on the package,
Yeah,
solve the
exactly.
problem.
That's what they do,
That's
right?
it. Yeah.
So that's the tricky game. DHA has, you could definitely get some good research saying that this works, and
Big time.
I don't know why a company has not done it for Canada yet.
Yeah.
But
I've done a lot of research on growth hormone,
Yeah.
and I remember I'd go to the States and I'd get the deer antler, right?
We
and
get that here.
I tried the deer. Yeah, I know. I've tried the deer antler, and I don't know. Growth hormone is a long game.
It's a long game.
It's hard to know. Like you can take a testosterone shot, and a guy will know that he's got testosterone in him. You can take DHEA, and it's going to take a couple weeks to work, or you can take Tribulus, which you know what I mean.
Well,
like,
so that goes back to what I said earlier when people take like the tissue generator is like a lot of these things here and supplements you do is for the long game. You know,
Yeah.
you're trying to get stronger for a long time,
Yeah.
and that's why you want to take things like that for
Yeah.
a long time.
And the reason why a lot of the things that really work, why they get banned or why they get a bad name, is because we have this mentality that it's like, I want it now, right?
Yeah, always the way.
If you know,
Just like fitness.
If I take one ephedra before 30 minutes before I've worked out, I probably won't feel it. Not going to do it. But I take 50. Right?
Yeah.
Or I take 10 all at once, and I've never done them before, you're going to have an issue. It's just like me with pre-workout. I take a quarter scoop of pre-workout, and I'm bouncing off the walls.
Yeah.
I take a half scoop of pre-workout, I'm doing muscle-ups. I take a full scoop of pre-workout, we're going to the bar. You know what I mean? And it's like people got to understand that, like, again, this is the long game. It doesn't matter what supplement it is. You know, for men, if we got male viewers, ease your way into some testosterone. Like, I got a buddy and I follow his account, and it's hilarious, some of the stuff. It's like, what do you recommend for, like, he doesn't know the guy, and he answers quite. I love this guy. Big Rob, I don't know if you know who Big Rob is.
No, I
his
don't.
stuff
Is
is
he
very
in the
transparent.
car?
He's awesome. He's a big dude, and I love his stuff. Right? It's very transparent, open. Sometimes I laugh. So it's like, I want to put on some ass. Tren, like 250s, Tren, Sessionon, and 50 milligrams of D-ball, right? And I'm like, holy smokes, like, dude, that's awesome. Like, but again, if you go to those extremes, so when you're taking these supplements, everything is within reason.
Yeah,
right? So
I mean,
it's like,
and
don't take 20 leaners.
And to go back to like things like Thrive,
Yeah.
it's hard to trust, right? It's first of all, you shouldn't. if it's going to the multi-level, there's always like red flags, right? But
Yeah.
if you look at the bottle, I remember one time Paul actually he said, "Hey, can you check out this link and tell me what you think of it?" And it you do this blood test, right? And
Yeah.
it gives you supplements based on what you think you need from the blood test,
Okay.
which I think is a really, really good premise. So then I look into supplements, into what they offer and the cost of it, and they're cheap. They're cheap. I'm like,
What do you mean?
Well, like something like NAD, which is like a molecule that we have to regenerate cells.
Okay.
That supplement's expensive,
Oh, yeah.
but this one had it really cheap. I'm like, why?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's not NAD.
Yeah.
There's no way it's NAD. Everywhere has NAD for
Yeah.
so expensive. Why is this one so cheap?
Whenever
Right?
I go to Amazon and I'm looking for a supplement, I always look at, like, how is the bottle laid out? If it's too ghetto, I'm like, I'm not getting it. If it's too done up, like it looks super commercially, I'm like, I'm not getting that either.
Yeah. There's a lot of transparency that needs to happen, and Americans don't do it, or the American supplements don't do it. There's a good website called consumerlabs.com, which you have to do a paywall, which I have. And it tells you everything that's been approved, right? And they call out. They go to Costco and they take out the supplement and then they test it and they say whether it's been approved, if what they have is in it, if what they have is not in it, and they call out and they get lawsuits and they win all the lawsuits. So it's a tricky game. It's a really, really tricky game.
Let's wrap up this conversation. Let's just give them some simple advice. What are some things they can do right now for free? Something that they should start practicing.
Track your food.
Track your food through MyFitnessPal. What else?
MyFitnessPal. Track your food.
Keep it simple.
Drink more water.
Don't,
you got it.
Don't eat.
Don't eat before bed.
Don't eat 3 hours. I'm going to push that. They say 2.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're eating, so to be safe, 3 hours. Don't eat anything. And if you need to snack, then go to these low-calorie, low-stimulus, like low-glycemic index foods.
Yeah. So we're all over the place with the question. We try to do as many as we can.
Yeah.
One more time, drink more water. Track your food. Don't eat before bed.
There you go.
I'd like to get into that. How much water
Yeah, we should get
does
into
one
that.
need?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that'll
yeah.
be something that we'll bring in for the next
and,
podcast.
give me your feedback in the comments. What other questions you were hoping to get? What kind of format? Do you want more structure? We were all over the place. And
There you go. We got lots of questions answered.
Hey, man. You can't do that. What?
Thank you for the information. Every Wednesday, we'll be here talking about it.